This video blog speaks to considerations of auto insurance in the personal injury context, particularly in the case of car accidents. And you will see to the left of me, to your right, parts 3, 5, and 12 listed. And those are what I feel in a coverage selection page that you have on your automobile are the most important coverages, because those coverages are really the only coverages that can protect you and your family, including household members and occasionally guests. It's a rather odd legal point as to whether guests are included, but those coverages are the ones that will protect you and your family. Now, what are they? Part 3 speaks to bodily injury caused by an uninsured vehicle. An uninsured vehicle can be deemed under the laws of Massachusetts a vehicle that is hit and run, a vehicle that is stolen, or simply someone, despite what the law requires, does not have insurance. In that instance, if you are hurt by their negligence, that is the person who has what is deemed to be an uninsured vehicle, then you have to turn to Part 3 for compensation for your injuries, including pain and suffering. You would turn specifically to your per person limits under Part 3. And if more than one person were hurt in the accident as a result of that uninsured vehicle's negligence, then you would turn to the greater per accident limits. But in no event would any one person be entitled to more than the per person limits. Part 12 speaks to bodily injury caused by an underinsured vehicle. And many people, in fact, perhaps a majority of the motorists in the Commonwealth, have just the minimum coverage, and the minimum coverage is $20,000 per person to $40,000 per accident. And in that instance, if you are hit by somebody who has a minimum policy of $20,000, you would surely hope that you would have enough under Part 12 to protect yourself, because in that instance, you are entitled to turn to Part 12. There was very involved legislation over 20 years ago that limited the access of Part 12 coverage. But suffice it to say, what you really need to know is that you need enough coverage under Part 12, just as you need enough coverage under Part 3 to protect yourself in the event that you suffer an accident at the hands of somebody who is uninsured or in the hands of somebody who doesn't have enough insurance. I've, since the 1980s, written letters to clients advising them of the importance of having sufficient coverage under Parts 3 and 12. And you may ask why, what's to the left of me, why do I include Part 5? I include Part 5 because the state requires that you have no more insurance under Parts 3 or 12 than you have under Part 5. A brief description of Part 5 coverage is as follows. It covers you when you are sued for arguably your negligence. Then the injured person will look to your Part 5 coverage. If you don't have Part 5 coverage, they look to Part 1 coverage, which gives the compulsory limits of $20,000, $40,000. But the key thing to remember is you want to protect you and your family under Parts 3 and 12, and you have to have commensurate insurance under Part 5 if you are to do so. Thank you very much.